Hi, my name is Amanda Panacea, and you're listening to the Healer Revolution podcast. This is a community for self-healers, biohackers, practitioners, and any other helping professionals. You're in the right place if you're seeking conversations about how pain becomes passion, the connection between physical, energetic, mental, and our spiritual self, finding your body's ancient wisdom, the latest biohacking technologies, clinical research, and if you just want to nerd out about complex biochemistry and quantum physics. But this is also for entrepreneurs who seek infinite abundance and a supportive community. So pour a cup of King coffee or Sisters tea and let's join the revolution. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Healer Revolution podcast. I am your host, Amanda Panacea, and today I have the pleasure of sitting down with Rob Rene. Hi, Rob. How are you today?
Hi, I'm so great. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, of course. We have a lot in common, so I'm excited to hear about your story, your company, and everything that you have been helping people with, especially big pharma and getting off medications. I think this is going to be a worse and worse issue as our country gets sicker and sicker.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better, right? I mean, it seems like, unfortunately, our country's being more deceived, and people are falling into that trap and not helping each other. So I'm hoping that through conversations like this, we can help educate people and help get them on a healthy path. So I'm excited. The more I read about you, I was just so excited because it's like you are really open and understand what's going on and understand how you can help people with a variety of different ways. So I love that about you. So thanks for having me on. This is a fantastic opportunity.
Yes, you're welcome. So let's jump right in. You do a lot of quantum energy healing. How on earth did you get into this field? What was your own story behind it?
Yeah, it's a really strange one. So if you'll bear with me, take me a few minutes to get there, but I promise you I'll get there. I started off really kind of understanding the body pretty well when I was young, because I was an athlete like you, right? As a swimmer and growing up in the college, I was a runner, and so when I was really young, I did a fun run when my brother was doing a run. He was 4 years older than I was, and I just went to watch it. And I saw this other little boy run it, and it was a 10K, and he had his singlet on and his running shoes and his shorts, and I'm just like, hey, if he can do it, I can do it. So I'm in my jeans and shirt and no running shoes, just and they said, hey, Mom, can I run it? And she's like, you want to? And I was like, yeah. So I ran it and I beat that young boy that I saw warming up. I'm like, hey, there might be something here. So I ended up really loving running, and that became my passion. But one of the things that really impacted me early was a book called Eat to Win. And that book was amazing because it really helped me perform so much better at a higher level than my competition, because they weren't fueling their body like I was. And I had learned through that book how important it was to feed your body with the right nutrition and the right things in order to be a distance athlete, right? Like, I don't know what distance you swam, but swimming is very similar to running, right? That it's an endurance sport. And in endurance sport, your body has to be utilizing its nutrients well in order to perform well. So the one good thing about my past was that I knew how to fuel the body. So that was early on. And then during college, I had a really tragic problem. I just got a full ride running scholarship to Division I school. My goal in life was to be a professional runner. And then I got hit by a truck. So I was out running, and a truck came behind us in the winter and hit me and threw me 36 feet. And I landed straight on my face. And that accident was brutal. I should have, to make a really long story short, I should have died on that side of the road because my throat clogged up with mucus, and I wasn't breathing. And so I would have died if my friend hadn't noticed that and unclogged my throat while I was laying on the side of the road. So Thank God for him. And so that, when I recovered from that, I couldn't run anymore because I had a bunch of issues and problems. But what I learned is that I'm on this earth for a different reason, right? In my opinion, being a Christian, I really felt that that's why I'm here, is that for some other purpose. I could have easily died on that day, and I actually have had probably 3 or 4 other really near-death experiences in my life. So God just keeps saving me. He's like, okay, come on, you're not done yet. You're not done yet. I'm like, okay. And at that point, I wasn't really sure what it was for. And so I went into a sales career and did the sales thing for a really long time. And then the pandemic hit. And the pandemic is where everything started for me, related to all of this. I was overweight. I was out of shape. And then this happened, and I lost my sales job. And I started to try to figure out what's going on with the world, with health and with my health. So I started running every day again. I started, getting in shape, and I lost a ton of weight, and I became really healthy again. But then I started doing research on what the heck's going on in the world. And I didn't realize at the time how bad things were being censored at the time. I was in sales in high tech, so I was selling software for really large companies. And I thought that we had the most free, open society in the world. And boy, did I wake up to a nightmare when I really started doing research on what's happening in our world and how censored our information is. And we're really being fed a lot of information that's just simply not true, which is frustrating. And then when I was doing that research, I looked early on in the 1900s about how the Rockefellers really kind of took over our medical system. And back then, there was about 50% of the medical practitioners back then were holistic doctors, right? So they worked on minerals and supplements and just natural ways to help people heal. And then the other 50% were more of like a traditional MD that we have today. But guess, now the percentage of that is like 0.001, because they've done a really effective job of getting rid of all of the people who are trying to do things naturally and healthily. So, and I have a lot of research that I can lead people to if they're ever interested in when I did that. But that obviously really frustrated me. Like, oh my gosh, we're in this situation where we're being fed information that's just not true. And I was like, what is true? What is going on with our health? And so I started working for my brother, who had a podcast, and his audience was mainly 50 plus older women. And so we're like, okay, let's since I'm on a health kick again, right? I know that the nutrition and things that you put in your body are really important. So I said my first idea was, let's go craft some custom supplements. So we'd craft these custom supplements that would help the community. And I found some really good people that would help me craft these supplements, who knew all about the body and things that would help those folks. And we started down that path. And then one day we were in a session. He's like, have you ever heard of quantum energy? And I'm like, quantum what? And I'm like, huh? No, I've never. It sounds like a cool word. I know quantum computing, because I was in the high tech field, but I've never heard of quantum energy. So that started me down another, I guess you could call it a rabbit hole, or down just a research path that was been life transforming. It's been so exciting to go down this path because, through that research, I learned how cool our body is. It's made up of energy. And this is stuff that right? And that I didn't, and so I started learning all these things. Oh my gosh, so our body is made up of energy, and it interacts with external things, and it interacts dramatically to external things. And I thought that was really crazy. I was like, okay, so these frequencies that are all around us, it literally interacts with, so your cell phone, for example, right? Frequencies aren't weird. People, when I first say, quantum energy frequencies, it sounds like a really big word. It sounds like, oh my gosh, this is really complicated. But if you take it down to its basics, it's a frequency. And frequencies aren't scary. Frequencies are just around us everywhere. And once you understand that, then you're like, okay, so that's not strange. Like the example I love to give is people in their car, right? In their car, and they're going down the freeway at 60 miles an hour, and they're listening to something. What are they listening to? Right? What they're listening to the radio. And so in order to change the station, what are you doing? You change the dial, and that dial is doing something. It's changing the frequency. So it changes the frequency to a different station. So once people start seeing that, okay, frequencies are all around us, and we hear and we see, and light is a frequency, all these things are frequencies. And then you get to the next step to understand how they actually impact your body. Then it becomes really fun, because then you can say, hey, how can I harness? There's good and bad frequencies, right? There's frequencies that are really bad for you, and there's frequencies that are really good for you. So it's been fun to harness the good frequencies and do good things with it. So there you go. That took, I know, a long time to get there, but that's kind of my history, right? I started off as a runner, and then I went through a long period of time where I just was just trying to make a living. And then all of a sudden this tragic thing happened in our world, and I did a lot of research on what's going on, and I went down these research paths, and then in my opinion, the Lord led me to these people who were doing this quantum energy stuff. And then I just became obsessed with figuring out how this is working and how it's helping people. And then how can we help other people? How can we help these people get off of big pharma drugs? So does that answer your question? Finally.
Yes. Yes. Very well. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. So you were actually one of the people that did like wake up during the pandemic.
Yeah. I mean, what people call it, like a red pill or blue pill, right? And
yeah.
it's like, and I'd been deceived for so long. It's just frustrating. I kind of went through a death for a while, like when you go through a death, you go through all these emotions and experiences, and it wasn't, I don't mean I experienced a death. I just mean that I went through this emotional roller coaster that was just really frustrating, because I was like, how can this happen? Right? In the United States of America, how can information be controlled? And that's what really blew me away, is how well if people are interested in researching Mockingbird media, go research Mockingbird media and see how our information is controlled. All of the thousands of media organizations across the country are owned by 6 entities. And they feed information into those entities, and they distribute it below, and they have these 4 a.m. talking points that they want everybody to talk about, and it's always very similar. So you'll hear it, and it's really great way to do this propaganda machine, because you hear it in the morning on your drive to work on the radio, and then all of a sudden you'll see it on your Instagram feed. You'll see something similar, the same message. Then you go home and you watch it on the 5 o'clock news, and you hear it for a 3rd time, and you're like, oh my gosh, so okay, I've heard it 3 different times today, then it must be true.
Right.
So you just assume that it's true because you've heard it 3 different times from 3 different people in 3 different ways. And lo and behold, if you go research that topic, it's probably not true. It's just so crazy. Have you experienced stuff like that?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, growing up, I grew up in West Virginia, and for some reason, I just always saw through this like media lie. I don't know how to explain it.
Good for you. I wish I was as smart as you were.
I saw West Virginia is very culturally isolated, and nothing really ever changes, and everyone's always the same, and everybody does the same things over and over again. It's really laid back and forward thinking, and I could just see everyone perpetuating the exact same thing. I felt very trapped growing up. Like I could not wait to leave. And right when I graduated high school.
Yeah, that makes total. I mean, I grew up in a relatively small town as well, and I was so excited. I was like, as soon as I had the chance, I was like, boom, I'm out of here. I was so excited to get away from that and go experience the world. And boy, what a world!
You want to know the truth.
Yeah, you do, right? And you want to get out and you want to see what's going on. And that's what I literally don't believe anything anybody really tells me at the onset. I'll listen to them, and I love listening to smart people. But even if it is one of the smartest people in the world and they're telling me something about a topic, I will listen, I will learn, but then I'm going to go validate, and that's the thing that I think that most people now need to learn how to do, is take in information and then go validate it yourself, and then make your own decision. Don't let somebody else make the decision for you. Make your own decision and about your health, about life in general, and you're going to be just so much better off, because then you can start finding resources that you have found that are not biased and not controlled, and then you can start making better decisions based upon what you know is true. So I think that's just super important.
Yeah, but I also see this happening in the whole. There's like these big name research will just parrot. They'll just take snippets from this big researcher that has, big following, and there's these types of people who that researcher did, and there's another camp of they believe that everything else this other researcher did, and there's different diets, and their diet and their researcher is like the only way, and they figured it goes on. We find out that some are not true, or bio individual important to me. I don't think that there's like one thing just yet. And
Right.
so I agree. Just living research, trying to fix itself is going to be better if you're listening to whoever is the like a bait type article.
Yeah, makes ton of sense. And so that's been what I did. What is fun now is that I'll take in information, do my own research, and I'll vet it against the people that I trust. It's taken me a long time to get to those people, and it's never. And I don't, even if they tell me something, I'm gonna.
Sorry, hold on one second. Let me plug in my plugged. 1 sec.
No problem.
All right, sorry, it was giving me a low battery, and I was like, oh no.
You know what's interesting is you were cutting out quite a bit during.
Yeah, it was saying like low resources. Okay, I plugged it in. We're good. Sorry about that.
Awesome. So there we go. So what was I starting to explain? I was starting to explain just my research, right, and how and why I do that, because I don't trust anybody anymore, because I did feel that I was lied to for most of my life, right, and I'm 55 now, so it's like, and only a few years ago did I really feel that I really started understanding the truth, and so for 50 years of my life, I was like, oh my gosh, I've been lied to. That's really pisses me off, to be honest. But
yeah,
at the same point, I can't do much about the past, but what I can do is help the future. And so that's why we created the company we created. We really wanted to help people. Our heart is to get people off of big pharma drugs. And so we were able to harness these frequencies in a healthy way, and put them on skin patches. And then these skin patches are awesome because there's no medicine in them. They don't penetrate your body to do something. They work within the energy system of your body, so the frequencies, and then they help counteract problems. So one of the most common ones we have is a pain relief product, and it's just awesome because you use this. I'll show you examples. So here's just a little patch. So it's about the size of a nickel. And what we've done is we've infused positive intentions and a healthy frequency onto the patch. And so then the patch has that information on it. And then literally you take it, you can stick it anywhere. You can stick it on your hand, and people pick it on their elbow. I always just stick it in the back of my neck just because it's out of the way. It's underneath my collar. Doesn't look like I'm wearing something, but it within a few seconds, it's pretty cool. It connects to your energy system. And what we've done is we've had some studies done that they use EEG products, like kind of like this Muse too. I don't know if you've heard of the Muse before.
I have, yeah.
Muse is pretty cool. It's just a device that measures your brain waves, and then you can see your brain waves on your cell phone. And when you're in pain, your brain is going like this because it's hurting, right? You have a problem, and your body is reacting to that pain, and your brain waves are fighting that, or your body's fighting it. So your brain waves are showing you that. And what happens is really cool is you can see within 5 seconds that our patch connects to the energy system, and then you'll start seeing over time the EEG waves, your signals, brainwave signals, flatten out and be more calm. And then you start realizing, oh my gosh, I'm no longer in pain, or my pain is reduced from a 10 to a 4, something like that. Some people are like, this is absolutely crazy, because it's never an instant thing where it's like, okay, you put it on and boom, it's
Right.
fixed. It takes your body a little while for it to work. Sometimes it's only a few minutes, sometimes it's a few hours, sometimes it's a few days if it's a really bad problem. But what's really cool is people will all of a sudden just go, hold it, where'd it go? It's just, it's not there anymore. It's just like, they're like, what? This is so great. How does that work? And they always call me. It's like, what is going on? How does this thing work? And it's so amazing. So that's been really fun. And one of the things I like to point people to showcase that kind of those, how intentions and frequencies interact with it. Dr. Emoto. Have you heard of Dr. Emoto? In any of his studies? Yeah, so he's got some cool studies. I love his book. He's got the Hidden Messages in Water book that I have and I've bought. But there's some cool things on YouTube that you can go to, and you see his experiments. And here's, the water crystals that he's done. I love his rice experiment. His rice experiment to me is just is cool, because he takes these 3 jars of rice, and one of them he loves. He's like, says, I love you. One, and the other one, the middle one, he's like, says, I hate you. And he's really mean to the middle one. And the third one, he just totally ignores. And what's crazy is how many people have done the same thing after him and have gotten the same results. So it's really cool to see. But the one that is white, or that he says he loves to, is basically still white. It's a little grayish because it's 30 days in water. The rice is gray, but it's still basically white. And then the middle one, he says he hates. It's just gross. It's disgusting and moldy, and you can't even see the whiteness of the rice. And then the one that he ignores is almost as bad and or worse than the one that he has bad intentions towards. And it's just so incredibly cool that you can replicate that, and that it works, that your physical intentions and what you say and what you think towards something has a physical impact on something else. And because when you really think about that, most people think that's crazy. They think, okay, that's weird, right? That is strange. But then when you get past that and you're like, oh my gosh, this does work, and this does happen. It's
true,
and it is true. Then it's not a leap, right? Then it's like, okay, so this is pretty awesome. So that once we get people to understand that, then it's easy to talk about our products, because then it's like, okay, we take those positive intentions and that the positive frequencies that help you with a medical problem, and we harness that and we put it on a patch. And then it interacts with your body and it helps your body deal with the issue. And so that's been super fun to help people. And my brother, who's a big part of this business, he had a couple of his buddies commit suicide from the opioid epidemic. And that's just been a huge problem in our world, right? And
being from West Virginia, my family and friends were very impacted.
Yeah,
it's really bad there.
It's like almost everybody has somebody that has had a problem, right? Has been impacted by that. So it's really is an epidemic across the world and across the country of how bad that problem is, because once you get on those, they're just really difficult to get off. And so, man, we just want to do anything we can to help people not go there, right? Don't go to that extreme to go get that those pills, because once you start them, doesn't matter what race, creed, color, education, anything you are, it's going to impact you, and it's going to have a hard time. Like 2 of the people were amazing athletes. One of them was a pharmacist. I was like, how does a pharmacist get addicted to opioids, right? It's just like, how does that, he knows more than anybody, right? And he still was impacted by it and ended up committing suicide. It's just horrible. That's right. Sad. So we have a huge heart, right? We want to really help people not get there, and so use these all natural solutions, and then by doing so, you can reduce your impact and intake of things that are like that, so you don't ever have to get there. So that's been super fun and transformational. The story, I love the stories, right? The stories are so much fun to listen of how it's impacting people's lives. This lady just this last week, she had 2 different types of spinal problems and has been bothering her for a really long time, like decades. And she started using our product, and she's like, I cannot believe it. She goes, this is the most incredible thing. I've done like everything and used everything. I've tried every
Wow.
cream, lotion, potion, and she said, your product is by far the most effective. She goes, I still feel a little bit of pain. She says, but it's so manageable because it's gone from a really high level down to a really, really low level. And she says, my pain's probably never going to go away, but now I can function. And
Yeah.
when you're not in pain, right, you can start thinking better. You can start, just doing your daily, life in a much more positive way. So that's been super exciting to do those. One other woman was awesome. We were at a conference and she dealt cards. So at a casino, and she's doing that because this was back in the days before they had the little machines that did it for you. She literally had to do this for 8 hours a day, and that repetitive motion just killed her shoulder, where she came to us and she's like, she couldn't lift this arm, and she hadn't been able to for 10 years. So she took a patch and she put it on her body, and she went away. And she came back a couple hours later and she goes, hey, I was like, hey, hi, nice to see you again. And she's like, boom, she lifts up her arm.
Wow.
She's like, I said, I'm kind of confused at this point because it's been a couple of hours and I didn't remember exactly what she said. She goes, I have not been able to do that for 10 years. I'm like, what? She goes, I'm serious. This is the most cool thing ever. She goes, this is great. And then she came back the next day because she was so excited because she was able to wear the patch at night when she was sleeping. And she said she slept better than she has in years, because when she was sleeping, she'd roll over and her shoulder would hurt, and she'd roll onto her shoulder and hurt. And she's like, man, this is fantastic. So now I'm getting my life back again because I can move my arm and I can sleep. And she says, life is so much better. And all from this simple little patch. So it's been really
too good
fun.
to be true.
It's so cool, right? To see stories like that where it's really helping
that's incredible.
people. Just makes me feel good.
So I have a question about how you actually infuse the frequencies in, because I use bioenergetics and we can infuse water, oil, light. What is the patch made of? And like, what kind of machine do you use to do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And some of that's proprietary, but I'll explain it. So it is a film on top of the patch, right? So we spray it with a solution that is conducive to receiving information, right? So it takes that information and then we put the ink on top of that. And so the ink kind of holds it together. So, which is cool. So it's holding the molecules of the substance are holding the information on it. And then we put the ink on top to keep it there. And then when you put it on, that's how it's still communicating to the body, is through those little teeny molecules that are holding that information onto it. That's a fantastic question. Most people don't ask me that question because it's like, what? How the heck do you do that? And it is a proprietary device that we use to encode that information on to it. But so it's similar to a lot of the other things you are using, but it is different in the respect that what we are taking is we can literally customize all the intentions. We have a set level of intentions that we put onto it, and we put on all of the products, and then we customize it specific to the problem. And then we even have an intention guide, and that we want people to use multiple senses. So we have them read this intention guide out loud, and we want them to use their mouth to say it, and then we want them, to hear themselves say it, and then they're reading it. So they're using 3 of those senses there, and then you have the touch patch. So using 4 out of your 5 senses to help you with the problem. Now I got to come up with a smelling one. I got to come up with like maybe a
Yeah.
scratch and sniff or something on the patch. But it's really cool that you can use multiple senses, and I believe that helps our product be much more effective by
Yeah.
using the more senses you can use for your problem, the better. So
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been fun.
Agreed. I used a lot of techniques like that in my practice, like somatic experiencing and different types of manifestation techniques. And the more you use your senses to make it reality, the better it sticks. So
Yeah, and
sense.
that's why I knew you and I would have such a good conversation, because it's like those things to some people are like, oh, okay, you're crazy or you're woo-woo or whatever, and I'm like, no, this really works. This is amazing stuff. So yeah, I knew you would get it, which is so much fun. So
yeah, and so you mentioned pain, which there's a lot of research that shows that pain is usually not necessarily in where you feel the pain anymore. If it's chronic, it has a lot to do with your brain, your thought patterns. What other type of conditions can these patches help with?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. We have right now 14 different solutions. So I'll show you the little brochure. Just we have 14 of them. So the most common are what's interesting is neuropathy is like all of a sudden like one of our most popular patches, where it wasn't 12 months ago. But so neuropathy is one. Allergy relief is a big one. And that is probably our most effective one. It's like, with all products, whether it's a supplement you take, whether it's a over-the-counter pill you take, it's going to have a certain level of effectiveness for people. And for some reason, our allergy product is just through the charts on effectiveness. This is like, I literally
That's the
got
one I need.
about,
so
huh?
That's the one I need. So
Okay, good. I'm excited for you to use these. It's gonna be so cool. But I literally got about an hour before our call. I got a call from a woman, and I'm gonna just, if you bear with me for a sec, I will.
Yeah, no problem.
Find that and just read it out to you. I think it's fun just to see real time, feedback from people. So she's like, "No itching hands." Was the title of the review. It says, I've been on allergy medication for years, literally the whole time we've lived in Arizona for 54 years. So 54 years she's had allergies and been on medication. Every time I'd stop taking the medicine, my hands would start itching in about 3 days, and would drive me crazy so much that I would go babble back to the medicine, is what she said. She goes, since I started wearing the patch, and let's see, where'd it go? Since I started wearing the patch, no itching hands, and I've been off the medicine for 2 weeks. Thank you, Lord. I believe they work. No itching hands, no stuffy nose, no runny nose, no watery eyes. So it's just super fun to see things like that, where it's really having a positive impact and helping people, right? And so, can you imagine at 54 years and you've been on a medicine and all of a sudden you don't have to take it anymore? It's like, what? That's so much fun. So the other products, we have a anti-anxiety product, right? Anxiety is a super big problem in our country as well. And this product just kind of gives you joy and peace. So you're not frustrated and mad. You take things joyfully. We have a weight loss product that helps reduce your appetite. So that's an awesome product. Another one that's really important for nowadays. One of the biggest problems with side effects of COVID. So if you get COVID, and like I did, I got lots and lots of people, millions of people got COVID. One of the side effects of getting COVID is called brain fog. So if you do, go do a Google search on brain fog and COVID, and it shows you all the reports and research that's been going on with it. So we've got a product called Clarity and Focus. And that product, it just really helps you think clearly and focus on the task at hand. And so that's been a huge seller in colleges and people that are really trying to study and focus and do those late night study periods that you and I probably, at least I did. I can't say you, but
oh, I have 3 college degrees, so I
know
really?
All
about
wow,
it.
That's amazing. What are they in?
I have a bachelor's in psychology, a master's in rehabilitation counseling and a master's in functional medicine and human nutrition.
Man, that's amazing. Good job. Go girl. That's awesome. That's so fantastic. So yeah, I love it because
Studying's my middle name.
yeah. Stress is your middle name, probably, right? With all those
Yeah,
courses. Holy
that
smokes.
sounds about right.
That's amazing. So really cool. Other products, we have a premenopausal and a postmenopausal product for women, and we have a health and wellness and an immune boost product. We're coming out with one that I'm excited about. That you may in Miami have a similar problem I do in Dallas. That there's lots of bugs, so we literally have a buzz off product that's really unique.
Nice.
So it's not really a health product; it's a product to try to keep things off of you. And
that's a good one. Yeah.
We're really in the early stages of testing that product. But my wife gets eaten up by mosquitoes. Like we have a dog, and we take him out every 3 or 4 times a day. And every time she's in the shade and we have a little riverway behind us. And so there's just waters everywhere. So the mosquitoes are everywhere. And so far, in the last 4 days, she hasn't had any bites. And she's just like, I can't believe this thing's working. This is great. So we'll see. I'm excited to see if we can get it through our test and see if that will help and impact people. Because, having bugs is no fun. So to get them off of you and not stinging you and putting their yuckiness on you would be a fun product. But we're always.
And does that work for ticks too, or just mosquitoes?
Yeah, that would be amazing. If we can figure that out, that would be so awesome, right? Because
that would be
any dog owner would want to use that product instead of that. In fact, I'm going to study one other product. This is a fun one. So related to ticks, but it's not related to ticks, but it's related to our fun furry friends. So we have the product that we created a new brand called My Peppy Pet. And what this is literally just a medallion you put on their collar, but then on the other side, we have the patches. The patches that go along with it this one is we combined the strength and stamina patch. So that's another one I didn't talk about with strength and stamina and our pain. So this one it's called Pep and Pain. So it gives the animal peppiness as well as reduces their pain. So it's awesome for older animals who have joint issues, and a lot of animals have that. And you just put this medallion on their collar, you put the patch on it, and they love it. In fact, one of the reasons why we did this particular product was we found our customers kept telling us that the animals would take their pain product and they would grab it and they would go sleep on it. So it was just, so they could tell, they could sense that it was doing something to them, and they enjoyed the relief. So the people started reporting that to us, and we're like, oh my gosh, we have something here. So we took that and combined it and created our, My Peppy Pet product line, and that one. So I'm excited to see if this buzz off one works. We'll go check it on the tick one, because that would be amazing too, right? Everybody who has an animal would want that.
Or also prevention of Lyme disease and all those types of bacteria and parasites.
Yeah, man, I have a lot of people who've had that, and that's amazing how not only of an issue it is, like for when you first get it, but just like it seems to go on forever, right? It's like you have Lyme disease, for decades. It's just like,
it can,
so frustrating. So stuff you know very well. But anyway, it's been super exciting.
Yeah, these products sound absolutely amazing. I have a couple more questions about them. So how long do you wear them, or can you wear them? How long do they last?
Yeah, awesome question. So we say they last 2 days because they last as long as the ink on the patch lasts. Because like I mentioned, the ink kind of holds that substance on the patch. So when the ink is gone, there's they're no longer effective. And you got to keep them dry. So you can't take a shower with them. So people will either put their hand over the top of it when they're showering, or they'll take it off and then try to reapply it. But then the stickiness goes away. So sometimes they'll put a Band-Aid over it, or just some medical tape over it. And that helps it to reapply it if it does. So we say the average is 2. Some go 3 or 4 days with that same patch. Mine only last about a day because I exercise quite a bit and I sweat and it just melts off. So I either take it off before I exercise and then I shower and I put it back on, or I just reuse another one. Since I have an abundance of them, I can use them a little bit more often than most people would want to, right? So you can preserve them for a lot longer. So that's a great question. Then we do have an actual card that's a much more robust product that looks like a credit card because it's on a physical hard substance. I'm looking around to see if I have one close, but the ink is on it and it will last up to 6 months. So that's a much more effective product, but it's expensive, right? It starts off like $125. So people aren't going to say, hey, geez, I want to see if this product works. Let me buy this expensive product to see if it works. So most people will try the patches, and if the patches work, then they, for their particular issue and problem, then they upgrade to our cards. Has been a common thing, but it's really an individual thing too. Because my oldest brother is another allergy lover. He loves this product anyway. I guess is what he's an allergy hater, and he loves our allergy product. He was a Claritin D user for 10 years. And he's like, I'd taken it just every day. And he said he didn't like it because it made him tired. But in order to function that day, he had to take it. And he now uses our allergy patches, and he wants the patch on it because he knows that's there. When he has the card, he'll put the card, because it only needs to be within a couple of inches of your body. He'll put it in his pocket, and then he'll misplace his wallet. He'll put his wallet over here, over there, and then pretty soon he's all of a sudden, the allergies are starting to impact him. He's like, why in the heck am I sneezing? Why am I feel like I'm, going to die, or I'm exhausted? And then he's like, oh, I don't have my stupid card. Where's my stupid card? So then he goes to try, whereas he puts that patch on, he's like, okay, I'm good for the day. So anyway.
So these are patches that they're not going to cure you of this ailment, but it will help you for the day as long as you have it on.
That's right.
Or do you have people that use it for like 2 weeks and then they're like, my problem's totally gone?
Yeah, they've said that, but obviously, being in this space, we can't say it's ever going to heal anything. But we can say it's going to help relieve the common symptoms, and so that's what we do. But it's been helping a ton of people, right? We literally have hundreds of reviews of the product and how it has helped people, and they'll buy it for a number of months and then they will stop buying it. So those are indications as well that the product has worked for a really long time and then they don't need it any longer. So it's been a really, really cool thing. And obviously, if we could figure out ways to heal things, right, we're going to promote the heck out of that and try to find, we're continuing to do innovations and looking at new technologies like you, right, with your functional, medicine background and the things that that there's really fun things that are happening in the research that's going on in this field. So we're always on top of it, trying to see what can we do and how can we help people, because it just, at the end of the day, if it's something that can help people get healthy without taking big pharma drugs, we're going to be the first ones to say, we want to try it. Let's figure it out and let's get it to people, and let's start, letting people do their own research on their own health topics and issues, and find alternative resources and solutions to these drugs that people are being poisoned with in some cases.
Right. And I have a lot of frequency devices.
Awesome.
But they're pretty pricey products. So these sound like they're a lot more affordable to see if it's going to help you, instead of trucking out a few $1,000s to buy one of these, or tens of thousands of dollars to buy some of these bigger price frequency products.
Yes. I mean, that's what these that's what's so cool, is they were able to put it down onto some small enough device that people can carry with them. The women love the product because they can just stick it in their purse, right? It's like a little teeny thing, and they stick up a 6-pack in their purse, and they go travel around, and they have their pain patch or their allergy patch or their premenopausal or postmenopausal patch with them. And it doesn't take up any space. So it's just been an awesome way to get the product out to the masses in a relatively inexpensive way, instead of buying, like you said, these machines they're really, really awesome,
Yeah.
but they're super, super expensive, right? It's like, holy smokes. One of my favorite stories is I know that you like biohacking, right? So one of the things that I like to talk to people about is just grounding or earthing, right? And how impactful that is on your body. And I was doing some research, and the guy at 10X Health, it said this, and he's like, hey guys, I've got this $5,000 mat, and the mat is amazing, right? You lay on the mat and it does all the things that it does. And then you research that and you go look at what grounding does for you, and it does the exact same thing. So I want to save everybody $5,000. Do not buy the mat. Take your
I have
socks
one
and
of the
shoes
mats.
off and go outside and stick your feet on the ground.
Well, see,
Right?
I got the mat because I live in a high rise and I can't
There you
always
go.
go out and lay on the ground.
Right, right, exactly. So, but people like me, I can't afford the mat, so I've got to go take off my socks and shoes and get them in the dirt.
It's
But
more effective to do that anyways.
yeah,
So.
isn't that funny though? It's just like so cool that things like that are real. And my wife, when she used to tell me about grounding, and I would just, I was an idiot. I would just say, "Oh, come on, give me a break." I like my shoes, right? I don't like my feet on the ground. I like because I have sensitive feet, and it's almost like I'm walking around like a gimpy, Anyway, so it's fun story. But I love all natural health, and I love fitness, and we want to help people just be more healthy, right? Live longer, enjoy your families longer, and get through these other pandemics that are probably going to happen. That we just need to learn how to be healthy ourselves, and do research, and listen to Amanda, and learn how to do awesome things to help your body.
Yeah. And so last question, can you wear more than one patch at once?
Yeah, that's a cool thing that you can wear as many patches as the problems that you want to solve. However, you don't want to wear a couple of them together, right? Like if you wear the sleep patch, you don't want to wear the strength and stamina patch, because they're going to counteract each other, right? So you don't want to wear the strength and stamina patch when you're going to bed. So that's going to make your body be active and give you strength. And the sleep is going to do just the opposite, right? The sleep is going, so the anti-anxiety and sleep are awesome ones to go to bed with, because you feel at calm, you feel at peace, and it helps you sleep. So that's a great combination at night. And then even the pain relief, if you're in pain and pain is what's causing you to not sleep, then the pain one is really good at night. So you can wear multiple. They're just a couple that you want to avoid doing together. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. That is awesome. So you're more of like a product creator now.
Yeah, which is really strange, right? Because it's like I was just all interested in these things, but then once we figured out that we could package them up, I'm like, we really need to take this out to the world. And so that's what I started doing, was figuring out a way that we could get these out in front of people. And with the censoring of information and the censoring of health information, which is really sad, but it's very, very, very real. That the big tech companies are censoring all natural health solutions, and they're censoring a lot of information. But so I figured the best way that I can get the news out is through having conversations like we're having right now, right? The more that you and I can talk about these products and these solutions, it's harder for them to censor everything. So we can get out and talk about things that are helping people. And so that's the way that I'm marketing these products. In fact, if anybody is interested in our products, they're really simple to get. You can go to our website. It's called QEstrong.com. So quantum energy is what the QE stands for, QEstrong.com, and then use the Panacea code. If you use a coupon code when you check out, it's awesome because it's kind of a win-win-win. It helps everybody. So use Panacea when you check out, and that helps, Amanda, but it also helps you. You get a 15% discount by using that code, and then we help Amanda fund her podcast, and then it obviously helps us create more products so that we can create more things like Buzz Off and like the Tick product, and all these things that we want to go do and help people. You're really just putting money. We're not really using the money. We're taking the money and investing it in creating other solutions to help people. So that's a great way to do it. You're kind of paying it forward by trying these products, and I think that once you try them, you're gonna love them. And or if you don't have any of these problems, I'll guarantee you know someone who does. Right, your friends or your neighbors, your mom or your dad, somebody has one of these problems. So take a chance. And the awesome thing too is if they don't work, guess what? Send them back, and we'll refund your money. So it's simple. We have a 60-day money back guarantee. So there's really no risk, and you're helping yourself or you're helping a loved one, and you're paying it forward. So it's kind of a win-win-win.
Yeah, that's awesome. Super affordable, and that's a really good money back guarantee. So
yeah, it just makes it easy, right? Why let's just take all the barriers off, right? Because
that's your confidence that how good they work right there.
Yeah, it's because honestly, every product doesn't work for everybody. So fine, send it back. Try the other one, and because it may work for you. But at the same point, we've gotten so many reviews of people, and so many people are not sending it back that we know it's working, and it's just awesome to see those, and we're super confident that it's going to help you. So it's super exciting.
Yes, very exciting. Well, thank you so much. This has been very eye-opening. I'm really excited to try these.
Yeah,
specifically the allergy one.
Yeah,
and
that'll be
I
awesome.
have my boyfriend, he definitely can use like he deals with chronic fatigue. So anything that gives energy and focus and clarity, he'll be able to tell me right away if it's working.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. So I will make sure you get the clarity and focus product, but also the strength and stamina one, because I think that both of those may be, or a combination of the two may help him with that. And then you try the allergy one, and then let's talk again. So that's what's fun about these products. So we literally could go down and talk about each one of these products for probably a good 45 minutes, just one product. Like, this problem is the problem, and why it's a problem, and how people can get help with that problem, and how we're going about helping that problem, what intentions we put into the product, and why, and we can go into detail. So I look forward to just continuing to have awesome conversations with you.
Yeah, for sure. By the time the podcast comes out, I will have tried them. So my intro will definitely be my experience.
Awesome. I love it.
When I record it. Yeah. So you've let everyone know your website already. Is there anywhere else to find you? Do you have an Instagram or social media or anything like that?
Yeah, you know what? The best way is I'm literally starting, by the time people see this, we'll have our own podcast. So we're going to have a podcast called My Faith and Health. And so we're talking about faith. We're talking about health topics. So it's simple. It's myfaithandhealth.com is the website. And that'll be the same name of the podcast. And we have a newsletter, right? So you can subscribe to the newsletter, and every week you get an awesome health tip, a nice faith tip. And we highlight and showcase either a mighty man or a majestic woman that are really making an impact in the world. So that's a fun way to get a hold of us that way.
Awesome. Exciting.
Yeah, it's really fun. I love what you're doing, and I'm excited, and I'm hoping that I can get you on our podcast so you can tell us all the fun things you're doing, how you're helping people, and with those 3 awesome degrees that you have, how you're putting them to good use.
Yes, that would be amazing. I would love to.
That'd be awesome. Good stuff.
All right. Any last words of wisdom?
No, just I just want to thank you for allowing me to showcase who I am and what we're doing, and we really want to help people, right? So the whole idea is just do your own research, right? Dig into these issues yourself, and don't believe everything you hear, because there is a lot of propaganda. So you have to really sift through that information and do your own research. And then if you get told something by a doctor, that's fine, great, but go get a second and third opinion at least, and go at least get one of those from a functional medical expert like Amanda. So make sure you check with Amanda if you have something. I'm serious.
Well, I'm not a doctor.
Okay, but
you
you have a functional medical degree, right? So at least people can ask you that, and you can at least have an opinion, and you might be able to direct them somewhere else that might help them from a more natural perspective.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what's important, right? People need to start. God made our bodies amazing, and he gave us an immune system that's super effective and incredible if you give it the right things. So if you feed it the right things and you treat it correctly, and you can heal your gut. That's the gut is as the core to a lot of people's issues and problems. And once you start healing that, then a lot of other things can start getting healed. And so it's just an awesome way to go about helping yourself, is understanding what's going on with your body, heal it from the core, and the body, and the Lord's and the way he's made your body is going to help heal itself if you give it the right things. So there you go.
Right.
And of course, I'm not giving any medical advice. I'm just telling you to get 3 opinions on your medical advice. Don't listen to everybody. Take that all in, do your own research, and go where the Lord's leading you.
Yep, agree. I totally agree. Well, thank you, Rob, for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure. I am really excited to try the patches, and thank you everyone for listening.
Yeah, God bless you.
Thank you, everyone. I am just so thrilled that you're listening to the Healer Revolution podcast. This has been a huge passion project for me, and super therapeutic on top of that, helping me to use my voice and connect with other like-minded individuals. So if you're enjoying the podcast, please like and subscribe. Please share on social media or with your audience or friends or loved ones. I truly appreciate it. It does take a lot of time and financial costs to run the podcast, and it is not a moneymaker, let me tell you. So if you are enjoying this, I would truly appreciate your support just by sending me a post, a like, and a subscribe. Thank you so much.